Hi everyone, you are most welcome. So please students, audio and video clear hai? Hi everyone. Okay, so good evening and please join me on this live session. Hi students. Okay students, so I think audio and video is clear and I'm going to start this wonderful session. T.S.Eliot as a critic, students. Okay, T.S.Eliot as a critic. So first of all students, before starting this session on T.S.Eliot, would like to introduce myself. I am AKS Rajveer, your Unacademy educator, and on Unacademy platform I am a plus verified educator. What does it mean students? It means you can join my paid classes on Unacademy platform. For paid classes what you have to do, so just take Unacademy plus subscription. By taking Unacademy plus subscription, you may watch entire syllabus of UGC NET Exam students, right? Entire syllabus of UGC NET Exam. From unit 1 to 10, complete syllabus. And students, this complete syllabus, within 4 or 5 months. After that, get crash course in a single payment. And then students, with crash course, one more thing we have, live practice sessions. And on those live practice sessions, we are going to provide you live experience of exam, first-hand experience students, you can say. And if you are going to join my paid classes on Unacademy platform, so then do not forget to use this particular code, Rajveerlive. By using this code, you are going to get 10% discount on your subscription. And if you want to get 20%, so then do not forget to watch my free special class by downloading Unacademy, the learning application on your cell phone. And do watch daily free special classes at 5 p.m. on Unacademy platform. Students, if you are going to take subscription, so then do not do late, because soon price hike is going to take place. We are going to increase our subscription prices. So then take Unacademy subscription earliest and save your money too, for both the paper 1 and as well as paper 2. Most welcome, good evening everyone, and I hope students everything is clear, audio and video. Rohit. Okay students, yeah. So now I'm going to start this wonderful session for you. Okay students, so today I'm going to cover with you T.S.Eliot as a critic. T.S.Eliot as a critic. You know students, T.S.Eliot, a wonderful personality. One of the great modern figures, students. One of the great modernists. T.S.Eliot, he is famous as a poet. The poet of the important poem, The Waste Land, students. You know, The Waste Land. One of the important poem written by T.S.Eliot. Right, students? And then as a critic, he has written work like Tradition and Individual Talent, Hamlet and His Problem, and other essays like Metaphysical, Poets, and all students. Yes. So a number of, students, essays written by him. T.S.Eliot, basically he was born in the year, so year is students, 1888. He was born in the year 1888 and died in the year 1965 students. In between he produced a number of best works. बहुत ही अच्छे से students work इन्होंने लिखा. Basically his birth was, students, the birthplace is St. Louis, Missouri, right? America. But later on he became a British citizen. As a critic, you can see his views. He said, poetry is not a turning loose of emotions, but escape from emotions, students. Right? But escape from emotions. As a critic, you know, students, he is known as a wonderful personality who was talking about the historical background. So you can see his essay, tradition and individual talent. In his critical essay, Metaphysical Poet. So by writing this particular essay, he brought one thing. The thing is, John Donne, who was previously criticized by John Dryden and Samuel Johnson by saying that they represented excessive wit and reason in their works. So later on, by writing this particular work, you know, Metaphysical Poets, Donne got prominence, or students, John Donne, he became popular. So as a critic, T.S.Eliot is going to judge merits of a literary work, right? Merits of a literary work, especially students, professionally, merits and demerits, because students, you know, a critic, a person who judges literary work, especially it's, you know, professionally without having any kind of biasness. T.S.Eliot, he has given a number of concepts as a critic. So objective correlative, students, okay? Objective correlative. This is the concept propounded by T.S.Eliot. Then dissociation of sensibility and unification of sensibility. So these are the one of, you know, students, important concepts given by him. And always, students, you know, one of the French critic written over T.S.Eliot, and what he was saying, students, Minati was the name of the critic, and the critic was saying T.S.Eliot as a critic and as a poet, he has trying to, you know, portray the ambiguity, students, because, you know, wasteland, so that is written in a different way, ambiguous way, students. Agar aap dekhe isko, so in the wasteland you can see numerous references, numerous, students, you know, different, you know, students, different myths and different concepts he derived. So students, वो जो references हैं, these references, even अगर आप एक अच्छे reader नहीं हैं, and if you don't have much knowledge about literature and about myth, Greek myth, or, you know, the other religion myths, even you have seen Buddhism or Hinduism and all, so then you are not able to understand the works by T.S.Eliot. So his process, criticism, the process of criticism, that is revolutionary one. And even, you know, the mind of the poetic creation and the mind of the poet. जैसे कि Wordsworth ने कहा कि what is poetic process? So Wordsworth said that poetic process is what? Poetic process is something like, you know, after getting impression from the world, observation of the, you know, object, and after observation, the poetic process that takes place in your mind in tranquility. He said poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings recollected in tranquility. It takes its origin in tranquility. Right? So tranquility, यानी कि जब आप एकांत होते हैं, अकेले होते हैं, so then origin of ideas. But what T.S.Eliot is saying? T.S.Eliot is saying the poet's mind, see, the poet's mind is like a vessel in which are stored numerous feelings, emotions and experiences, right? The poetic process infuses or fuses these distinct experiences, emotions into new wholes. And agar students aapko yaad ho, so he said, what is poetry? Escape from personality. So students, you know, escape from personality, theory of impersonality, he also dictated, T.S.Eliot students. By writing tradition and individual talent, what T.S.Eliot was saying? By writing the work Tradition and Individual Talent, a particular essay, T.S.Eliot was saying, he was arguing that art must be understood not in vacuum, but in the context of previous pieces of art. Students, देखिए कुछ इसी टाइप का कॉन्सेप्ट अगर आपको याद हो, तो मुझे वैसे याद है कि इसी टाइप का कुछ एक कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसको मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड ने दिया. मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड का ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है स्टूडेंट्स, यू नो, मैथ्यू अर्नोल्ड, सो ही वाज डिस्कसिंग अबाउट बेसिकली just touch stone method. Yes, touch stone method. But T.S. Eliot, he's not talking basically about touch stone method and all, but what T.S. Eliot is saying, he is saying just what you have to do. So you must first of all see the tradition, what the tradition was, what the other authors or other critics they were doing. So tradition must follow tradition with using your talent. एक catalytic process की भी बात की students, you know, catalytic process की बात की कि the mind of the poet is what? The mind of the poet is like catalyst, कि जहां word के impressions आते हैं, right? And after getting impression from word, the poet is going to produce a work. Got it? Yes, the poet is going to produce work, students. You can see on your screen, these are the important essays by T.S. Eliot. See, Christianity and culture. Christianity and culture. So this was appeared, students, you know, 1939, 1948. So students, two times it was, first time it was appeared in 1939, then later on it was edited. Tradition and individual talent, one of the important essays, students. Tradition and individual talent, so I have already told. He was in support of the historical sense. He said historical sense must be followed. यानी historical sense को क्या करना है? Follow करना है. But by using individual talent. अब ऐसा नहीं कि आप historical sense को इतना ज़्यादा follow करें कि individual talent का पता ही नहीं चला. So he said historical sense कैसा होना चाहिए कि आपके जैसे mind में आए, this is your mind. So historical sense and your talent दोनों यहां पर मिक्स होंगे, then production. Got it? Historical sense, this is historical sense, and then your mind, students, yeah, your thinking, okay, the mind of the poet, mind of the critic, and then production of a new work. So that's why he said tradition must be followed, but by mixing individual talent, right, in this particular essay. In metaphysical poet, students, what he was talking about basically, in the essay, the metaphysical poet, students. So what T.S. Eliot was discussing, do you know? Any one of you students, please on comment box, because as I can see your comments, बहुत कम comments आ रहे हैं students, please. So let me know on comment box what he was discussing in his essay, the metaphysical poet, students, please. Any one of you, hurry up, please. जल्दी से बताइए, the metaphysical poet, right? What he was discussing in this particular essay, the metaphysical poet. Any one of you? No one is answering. I think सब लोग बहुत ही ज़्यादा passive हो चुके हैं, but कोई बात नहीं students, ठीक है? No problem. So you know, in his metaphysical poet, he was discussing about, you know, he disapproved the metaphysical poetry. No, Badri Yadav. No, it's not right at all. He supported metaphysical poets. Right? By saying what? by saying, students, what he said, dissociation of sensibility and association of sensibility, right? So they expressed their thoughts with feeling, so that's why he praised metaphysical poets. Disapproving of metaphysical poets by two. So ये देखिए दो लोग थे, आपको पता ही है, Dryden, first of all Dryden and then Pope, sorry students, first of all Dryden, then Johnson ने students, Johnson, Johnsson, जिन्होंने metaphysical term coin किया. So these two critics, they were disapproving, but T.S.Eliot ने तो praise किया metaphysical poets की. Got it? Yes. Now see the Sacred Wood students, so you know, collection of his essays, जो criticism में इनके essays आए, right? Got it now? So in this particular, you know, Sacred Wood, it's a collection of his essays, and then Hamlet and his problem. So in this particular essay, Hamlet and his problem, he was discussing about, you know what? He was discussing about objective correlative technique. Objective correlative technique, students, right? Yes. This particular essay was also part of the Sacred Wood. ये जो Sacred Wood, students, you can see. So Sacred Wood का part था this particular essay, Hamlet and his problem. And in this essay, what he said, Hamlet as Mona Lisa of literature, right? Hamlet as Mona Lisa of literature. And Hamlet, tragic failure, students, okay? Yes. And objective correlative वाला जो term है वो भी इसी में coin किया था, OBJECTIVE, objective and correlative. What does objective correlative mean? हमें इस चीज को समझना बहुत जरूरी है, students. What does objective correlative mean? So देखिए सिंपल होता है. Objective correlative का मतलब है कि जैसे मान लीजिए कि आप जाएं कहीं पर, मान लीजिए आप गए किसी शॉप में, आपको कुछ बाय करना था, ओके? यस, आप किसी शॉप में गए और आपको कुछ बाय करना था. फॉर एग्जांपल आपको एक पेंसिल लेनी थी, है ना? यस, आप एक पेंसिल लेने के लिए गए, आपको बाय करना था, बट अल्टीमेटली आप पेंसिल ना लेकर के बाकी सारे काम करके वहां पर ही गए उसी शॉप पर, एंड आप कुछ और कर रहे थे, राइट? ऑब्जेक्ट का कोरिलेशन, प्लॉट एंड द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द वर्क इस वे में होना चाहिए, स्टूडेंट्स, राइट? इस वे में होना चाहिए, सो दैट जो प्लॉट का कंस्ट्रक्शन है वो कुछ इस वे में होना चाहिए, सो दैट कि जो आपका पर्पस है वो फुलफिल हो जाए एटलीस्ट. बट हैमलेट, स्टूडेंट्स, यू कैन सी व्हाई दिस इज ट्रेजिक फेलियर, बिकॉज यू नो कि जो आइडिया है विलियम शेक्सपियर का, शेक्सपियर इज नॉट एबल टू फुलफिल द, स्टूडेंट्स, यू नो, ऑब्जेक्ट, द पर्पस, वो पर्पस ही नहीं फुलफिल कर पाते विलियम शेक्सपियर. So that's why, you know, objective correlative is not there perfectly. That's why this is tragic failure. Because Hamlet तो indecision में फंसा है ना. So this is tragic failure of Shakespeare, not of the work itself. Homage to John Dryden. This is the work associated with criticism, Shakespeare and Stoicism of Seneca, and use of poetry and use of criticism. Another one work by T.S.Eliot, and then see After Strange Gods. Students, होता क्या है आपके एग्जाम में ऐसे क्वेश्चंस को पूछ लिया जाता है. क्वेश्चंस, the work written by whom, this work written by whom, that work written by whom. So students, आपके एग्जाम में कुछ इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं, ठीक है? Then essays Ancient and Moderns by T.S.Eliot. Then Notes Towards the Definition of Culture, 1948, and then Frontiers of Criticism, 1956, on Poetry and Poets, 1943. So these are the works, students, the most important works by T.S.Eliot. Students, you know, जो ट्रेडिशन एंड इंडिविजुअल टैलेंट है, एक बार मुझे इस पर थोड़ा और भी फोकस करना चाहिए, स्टूडेंट्स. ट्रेडिशन एंड इंडिविजुअल टैलेंट. Basically, this particular essay, first of all, it was part of the Egoist. Egoist में students 1929 के time period में आया, 1919 के time period में. Then later on, it was published in the Sacred Wood. Sacred Wood जो collection था इनके essays का. And this particular essay, tradition and individual talent, can be divided into 3 parts. How many parts are there, students? So 3 parts are there, and I'm going to write these 3 parts of tradition and individual talent. These are the 3 parts, students. Concept of tradition, concept of tradition, right? Concept of tradition, and then another one, the next one part. So this is a theory of impersonal poetry. Theory of impersonal, P-E-R-S-O-N-A-L, impersonal poetry. Theory of impersonal poetry. And then students, एक और part है, next one, the last one part, the conclusion. These are the 3 sections, right? The essay is divided into 3 parts. Please ये याद रखिएगा. Tradition and individual talent. And on this particular, essay, what is it? Poetry is what? As not turning loose of emotion, but escape from emotions. Not expression of personality, but escape from personality. So simply in this essay, tradition and individual talent, Eliot ने theory of impersonality थी, right? T-H-E-O-R-Y, theory of impersonality, right? Theory of impersonality. So that appears in tradition and individual talent. Then see, students, among these essays, the frontiers of criticism is one of the important essay. Right? बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं लोग इसके बारे में बात करते. But students, frontiers of criticism, this is what, so this is, students, this is the essay that was, a lecture series given by Eliot. Where, students? So University of Minnesota, MI. Yes, students, मैं थोड़ा सा erase कर देता हूँ, फिर इसके बाद में write करता हूँ. Okay, so where, students? So see, frontiers of criticism, ये lecture की series है. ऐसी lecture की series जैसे Ferdinand Saussure की lecture series है ना? Yes, Ferdinand Saussure. So there is a lecture series by him. So yes, this is also a lecture series. Where, students? So university, and the name of the university, M-I-N-N-E-S-O-T-A, Minnesota. Okay, yes, on this particular university. Proceeding to the next one slide and discussing about, students, objective correlative. क्योंकि students, Hamlet and his problem में जो सबसे important part है, so that is of objective correlative. Please. So what is objective correlative? Please, अब इस पर focus कीजिएगा. What is objective correlative? So the theory of objective correlative, so this is one of the best concept, and he said objective correlative is set of objects, a situation, a chain of events which shall be formula for the poet's emotion, so that when the external facts are given, the emotion is at once evoked. Right? Simply, it means construction of the work. Construction of the work. Play, poetry, or any other thing, anything else, students, you can say. Eliot is saying objective correlative is what? We must set object, situation and events in this way so that we may arouse the emotion of the character or the poet or whatever it is, so that कि उसके जो इमोशंस है परफेक्ट टाइम पर इवोक्ड हो एंड ही और सी मे डू द थिंग ही डिजायर्ड. एंड स्टूडेंट्स, यू नो विलियम शेक्सपियर के हैमलेट में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? सो दिस इज द मेजर प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज he is just trying to postpone each and everything. Every single time you have seen he is trying to postpone the things. He is saying कल करेंगे, इसके बाद में कर लेंगे, इसके बाद फिर कभी करेंगे. This is what, students, you can see the postponement, and this quality can be seen with, you know, metaphysical words के साथ. So उनके लिए dissociation of sensibility and association of sensibility, right? देखिए जो पोएट है, पोएट की फीलिंग एंड द कंपोजिशन, सो इनको थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट करके रखना चाहिए. सो T.S.Eliot was saying, simply, students, T.S.Eliot as a critic, one of the best critic, yes, one of the best critic you can say. इतने सुपर क्रिटिक स्टूडेंट्स की आप इमेजिन कर सकते हैं in the field of literature, as a wonderful poet and as a wonderful playwright, as a playwright, you know, written poetic plays and all. बहुत सारे poetic plays लिखे students, चाहे वो family reunion हो, murder in the cathedral, cocktail party and all. And then as a poet, Wasteland, Prologue and other poems. Okay. Then as a critic students given concept of objective correlative tradition and individual talent. So talking about tradition, dissociation of sensibility, unification of sensibility, so fusion of thoughts with feeling, that is unification of sensibility, right? Dissociation of sensibility is what? So thoughts and feelings को अलग अलग करना, so that is disassociation of sensibilities. Objective correlative, so whatever you know your aim is, जैसे कोई work है, work of art, so whatever your aim is to get that desired aim. Okay, so that is objective correlative. And theory of impersonality he also given. So theory of impersonality, you know students, he said कि जो हमारी पर्सनालिटी है उस पर्सनालिटी को डायरेक्टली नहीं रिफ्लेक्ट होना चाहिए इन वर्क ऑफ आर्ट, टू एस्केप फ्रॉम पर्सनालिटी, नॉट एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ पर्सनालिटी. सो T.S.Eliot, he was a wonderful critic, students, you know, yes, as a wonderful critic given wonderful criticism to English literature. For remaining part, students, of this particular lecture, you may watch my Unacademy classes. So do not forget to take Unacademy Plus subscription, and if you have any query, so then you may write on comment box. And sharp 5 p.m. students, I am going to give you a free special class, right? Free special class today 5 p.m. because हम लोग इस समय कवर कर रहे हैं सीरीज हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर वाली सीरीज. ओके, सो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम. आप आ सकते हैं 5 p.m. on Unacademy platform. If you have not downloaded Unacademy, the learning application, so then do download. Want to take plus subscription, so then do take hurry up because students price hike जल्दी हो जाएगी, so subscription के जो rates हैं वो बढ़ जाएंगे. Okay, so bye and take care. मिलते हैं 5 p.m. students आपसे. तब तक आप अपना ख्याल रखिए.